Right, so now we're going to move on to the category of touch, the sensation of touch, things you might feel on different parts of your body. And the ones that you've sent in, really quite romantic, I feel, actually, this category. But I'll start with the one that I don't think is romantic, but maybe I'm wrong. And that
Right.
is static electricity.
Now that's such a turn on. Haha. uh,
Sure,
it's
whatever.
okay. It's you know what? It was just one of those things that I really like. It's I know a lot of people are like, oh, that was really horrible, and I'm like, that's really cool. And even as a kid, I used to love it. And it was like, and I used to just rub my feet across the carpet, and go up to someone and go boop, zat, and it was really fun. We had great fun. And I used to do it to the dog. That wasn't so fair, but bit ashamed. But it was great fun, and it's just something that I think of as like magic. And it's what because I was thinking when you set the question, it's like, well, what touch? And obviously, ideas started to come once I started to think about it. But static electricity was one of the first things I thought about that made me go, oh yeah. And you know what? It's kind of a villain too. So it's kind of interesting to me. There's this kind of ambivalence towards static electricity. Lots of people can't. My wife hates it if I zap her,
Yeah.
and which means I'm going to do it.
hang on a minute. You still do it today?
Absolutely. Are you kidding?
Oh my god. Yeah, she would hate that. Mind you, I would be that impressed myself, actually. Oh my god. So moving on from from that one, I'm going to go to which I'm assuming that she would much rather prefer, which is touching the inside of someone's hand.
Yeah. Now that is an interesting one for me because first of all, I thought touching someone's hand, but actually that wasn't it, because it's actually touching the inside of someone's hand. That is a particularly intimate place, and you don't get to do that very easily. Even good friends, touch the inside of their hand. That's a kind of off limits area. Little kids do that. That's where they go to with their parents or someone they're with, hanging out with. And we sort of lose that once we get old enough to not be allowed to sort of hold hands in that way. But then we get it again when we get romantically involved with someone. And it's that the tips of your fingers and inside of someone else's hands, you're walking into a room full of people, is very reassuring. It's like, I got your back. And that's one of the great feelings. And again, it's one of those things that isn't just about childhood. It really matters as an adult too. That someone can get close enough to you to be like, I got you. And you feel that just on the palm of your hand. And it's the most innocuous place. It's not charged in any way, so I think that's really cool. Really love that.
It's not charged as long as there's no static electricity, in which case
as long as there's no static electricity.
Yeah, as long as there's none of that. Yeah, that's fair enough. So and the third one is first kiss.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be, everybody's got to have that on their list, haven't they? I mean, if they're lucky enough to have had a romantic kiss, then that just takes your breath away. I remember I was in Ramsgate, sunny Ramsgate, Thanet, Kent, which is where I happened to be at school. And Jane Hammer, I think I was 16, maybe getting on for 17. Jane Hammer and I walked down to the seafront, because it's on the sea, on the coast. And there was a bench overlooking one of the cliffs there. And I can't remember how, but we ended up kissing on this bench, and it was dark. Can't have been that late because we were at school. We had to get back to school. They would have noticed us missing after a few minutes. But it just felt like I'd gone through the looking glass. It just felt like something. It's a feeling I'd never experienced before. I just was astonished by that. And I can't really put it into words. It's not, I would say, silk, but it's not that. It just is something otherworldly. And I remember that moment to this day of being just astounded by that sensation and it's a purely touch sensation that I couldn't achieve in any other way. It just, you can't replicate it. And it gets old. Obviously, you get used to it, and it's a little bit different as you get older and stuff. But that first moment, boy, that just knocked me for six.
So I hope Jane Hammer is watching this now, because she'll be definitely hoping you pick that as your number one experience, which is the question that I'm going to ask everybody at home now. So it's static electricity, touching the inside of someone's hand, or the experience of a first kiss. One of those is Sid's number one favorite experience in the sense of touch. Which one do you think it is?